Welcome, Amakhosi Network. Welcome to the channel. So, Kaizer Chiefs loses 2-1 against FC. What is this team called? Twente. But before we get into that, please like, comment, and subscribe. So, Chiefs lose to FC Twente. I know a lot of people are going to come back and say it's preseason, we played a stronger team, everything. We understand. But today, it was like I was watching. Today I understood what it's like to watch Amakhosi FC. As a supporter, I know what it's like to be a supporter of Amakhosi FC. When you don't have the ball, you're gaining fitness because you're just running, you're chasing the ball, just chasing shadows. When your team eventually gets the ball, they can't pass the ball out of a strong press. Your team can't string one or two passes, and when they do get on the other side, like by luck or by one person kicking the ball into a good position, then you just have attackers that don't know how to score goals. And in summary, I want to say this. In all the games we've played thus far, we've played about 5 games. We've lost 4 games and we've won 1 game. And I want to tell people what this means. This is a true reflection of the season we had last season. We would often win at least 1 game out of the 3 to 4 to 5 games we play. We would win 1 game. Then the other games were going to be the same story of how we concede. We concede via set pieces, and we concede early goals, late goals. So either the game begins, we concede, either halftime, close to halftime, we concede, beginning of halftime, concede, or 90 minutes, we concede. Same problem as last season. High line keeps getting Chiefs in trouble. Teams just go and use the high line, they get us, etc. The other problem that I had, that I experienced now with FC Twente and PSC is Wally. The only difference is that both these teams didn't capitalize on the chances they got is their wingers. Their wingers always get so much space. And I'm like, we are lucky that a lot of the times FC Twente and PEC Wally didn't have top quality wingers, wingers that can take you on and go onto the side and take a decent cross, which when these wingers did do that, we considered a goal. Because, for example, first half we considered a goal where the winger basically just took on Solomon's, put the goal, cross in, scored. And I think same goal we considered. The second goal, the winger just took on the right back, the left back, Aboshinga, to square the ball in goal. So we concede the same goals. The wingers are always beating us. We give their wingers too much space a lot of the times, and this is a negative thing. And this is a thing that goes back to last season. A lot of the times, Chiefs afford an attacking team the chance. The wingers, let me just say, the wingers of the attacking team, they always get a chance to face our left back and right back, meaning that somehow they always bypass the winger, they bypass the midfielder, and they always get a chance to face Aboshinga and Monyani. Monyani and Shinga, Solomons and Frosler, they were the most worked players in this game because for whatever reason, the ball always arrives at these wingers. And these wingers just have the luxury of taking on. And the thing is that when you give this to these wingers, it means that they will keep doing it the whole match. They'll keep going at Frosler. They'll keep going at Munyani. They'll keep doing it because at some point they're going to beat these guys. At some point, Frosler is going to make mistakes. Munyani is going to make a mistake. Shinga is going to make a mistake. The ball will be crossed in. At some point, it will happen. And that's the part I don't like. And the thing is that when Chiefs attacks, now let's change the scenario. When Chiefs attacks, how often did we see Mfundo Vilagazi being able to face the right back? How often did we see many opportunities where Lilepo got to face the left back and right back? It wasn't a lot of the time. And the moments we did get to at least face the left back and right back, something happened. Like Mfundo Vilagazi, there was a patch in the first half where Mfundo Vilagazi was really going at these guys because Chiefs are starting to play a bit better. I think after Peterson sat down, Chiefs started playing a bit better. There was a patch where we started moving the ball the right way, etc. And in that moment, we started creating chances. But one thing I'm picking up from our midfielders, because I think the big talking point that I take away from this preseason is the lack of midfield. We're lacking in a lot of positions and a lot of important positions. And when I say the lack of midfield, I'm saying we don't have enough characters in the middle to solve solutions. And that's the problem, because when we watch Chiefs today, the first half and the second half, the solution always is Thabo Cele in the first half. The solution always is Thabo Cele. Mabaso, yes, he's still young, and I think this game he was thrown into the deep end in this game. He did fairly well. He had a decent showing for someone who got thrown in the deep end. I think he gave a very good account of himself. It wasn't his greatest performance, but it's what I wanted to see when he starts the game in an intense position, how he fares. And I think he didn't do too bad. But what you did see is that he was not as brave as he was in coming on as a sub. So he was more cautious, more scared to avail himself. He would sometimes hide behind the attackers because of how the press was hectic from FC Twente. And that's something I picked up. But in the first half, we were always expecting Thabo Cele to find a solution. And the thing is that Thabo Cele was losing a lot of the balls because he was trying to be the solution. But FC Twente is strong and FC Twente is fast. So they don't give him that opportunity. So he really struggled to grind out an confidence from the midfield. And the moment he struggled to do that, the whole midfield collapsed and we started playing from the sides. Side, pass to the keeper, keeper kicks long, etc. Which is another point I wanted to highlight that I didn't enjoy throughout this tour in Netherlands. Tour in Netherlands, we start the ball at the back, it goes to the side, right back, it goes to the left back, it comes back, it ends up by the keeper gets pressured, the keeper tries to kick long or over a defender, it goes to the other side, the defender can't do a first time trap because either they pressured him or he just didn't touch it the proper way, like Abu Solomon's. They lose the ball. We are now, the team is now in our half. We are getting pressed from in our half again and again. And sometimes it was a thing of where we would get to the front. We would be the ones who are in the attacking position. We would get to the front. You would see Abo Modi now in the front, Abo Shinga, which is something that disappoints me about his game, is that he's always trying to go backwards or sideways. He's never trying to find the striker. He's never trying to find these people in good positions, always backwards or sideways. Liliapo, same story, etc. They pass the ball, then they get scared, then they take the ball backwards. It gets to Miguel passes it to Peterson, passes it to Vuma. Then what Peterson and Vuma do is that they just kick it long. They try to get the runs behind, they just kick long, and it just becomes helicopter football. So Chiefs kind of hides their identity that they play helicopter football. They hide it in the start. When they start, they play from the back. It is like we play from the back. But eventually the ball gets back to Peterson. Eventually the ball gets back to Miguel. Eventually the ball gets back to Aiden McCarthy, Quinica. And what those guys do is that they just kick it long. So we mask this play from the back, but the end result is that we just kick it long eventually. So it was interesting to see that we do play a lot of helicopter football. It's just that you will be deceived by the starting point. But the end result is that the ball just gets kicked long. And Abo Morris, because if you think of the first half, how many chances did Hlongwane get long balls from the back and he had to compete with these tall FC Twente defenders? And it's like, when will Hlongwane grow height to now fight these tall defenders? Because Hlongwane cannot play this high ball game. But they kept feeding him with these long balls. You could see when Morris came, the long ball game was starting to at least yield some result, because at least it could compete. But it's not like something happens after the ball goes high. But yeah, it wasn't a good game to watch. FC Twente, it was just a game of where FC Chiefs was getting fitness because they were chasing. This team, the biggest takeaway I want to take from this game is that when you play a team like FC Twente like this, the question you need to ask yourself is that how many teams are you going to face in the PSL that are going to dominate you like this, pound for pound, or are going to starve you from the ball like this? Because realistically speaking, it's only Orlando Pirates and Sundowns who can dominate the ball like this and rotate the ball good and slow down, increase the pace, etc. So realistically, this FC Twente game is the preparation for Sundowns and Pirates, this FC Twente game. And I go back to my point when I said in my other videos, where I was like, what benefit is it if you are prepping the team to go against Sundowns and Pirates? Because to win the league and to end up above 50 points, those two teams are not the teams you need to focus on getting points against. Because those two teams, it's not about even pound for pound. Those two teams, you play the occasion. Sundowns, you play the occasion. Pirates, you play the occasion. Meaning that if you just beat the occasion, you can beat them. The other teams, you don't play the occasion. You play the quality of the players and the game plan. That's what the other teams are, because the other teams are going to get there and they're just going to play a game plan against your weaknesses. For example, those other teams don't have time to hold the balls for too long, etc. They sit back, they sit deep. You come, you play your football, you try to unlock them. They get the ball, they see your highline, Nabo Miguel, who are slow, etc. They just kick behind because they'll just put speedy wingers on the side. They kick long. That's the gameplay of a lot of PSL teams, because that's what they did. Go back to the Super Sport game, how we lost, I think it was 4-1. Same story. They just gave us chance to play. They get the ball, transition. And their transition was always like 2 to 3 players. They don't transition with like 6 players or whatever. No, they transition with 2 to 3 players and they go and they end up getting a tap in or one-on-one with Abo Bvuma. And the moment you expose those two keepers, chances are you've already lost the battle. But yeah, so I say this because what people don't get about about going to Europe and not including, because what I wanted Chiefs to do for preseason is also include like a Botswana team, include Township Rollers, include maybe like include a Namibia team in there, include like an Angola. The teams that you kind of feel like you can beat. Those are the teams I want, not the teams that you are already the underdog the moment you step into that game. Because when Chiefs goes into a situation where they're underdogs, our players always lift their game to be higher or to match that team. And that we've seen with Pirates last season, we've seen with Stellenbosch season, we've seen with Sundowns. Chiefs players always find a way to lift their performance for these big teams. But when they go play Amakhosi, for whatever reason, a lot of these Chiefs players, they already feel like they have 3 points before they even leave the bus or the Kaizer Chiefs village. And when they get there, they get beaten. When Chiefs plays Polokwane City, they already think they have 3 points, and they get there, they get beaten. Because of that switch-off mentality, they can't apply the intensity of when they are an underdog to when they are the one who's expected to win. And that's what I feel like in this whole preseason, we haven't had a chance to explore that side of our weakness. That side of our weakness where we have to face a team that sits back and we have to defend counters. We have not had a chance to explore this. And I mentioned this one time, I think in the previous video, that Hugo Bros recently declined to play a friendly against Morocco and all these other European teams. He said no. And when people asked why, because South Africa has a winning streak or a non-losing streak of about 20 games or something. And when people said why, and then he's like, no, what these guys don't get is that I played France and I played Morocco and I got nothing out of that result, because the thing is that when you go and play a team that is too good for you, you cannot practice what you need out of that game, because that team is just totally outplaying you. And when that team is totally outplaying you, you are chasing the team, and the instructions that your coach is practicing in training, you don't have a chance to implement because there's not enough time. This team is just overwhelming you, and you are not getting a chance to implement what you're doing in practice. But when you play a team that is at least lower or matches your strength, that is the moment you get to really build a momentum and build continuity. Because one thing I want people to understand is that in this Netherlands game, Chiefs has not played at the same standard this whole game preseason. And I know people are gonna say, yeah, but you switch teams, etc. But I'm like, yes, you switch teams, but the teams we are playing against, have they been able to maintain a level? Because they're also in preseason. They must, let's be fair, they are also in preseason. Have they at least been able to maintain a style of play, a way of playing, an intensity, etc.? And when you compare to Chiefs, has Chiefs been able to do that? Or have we been chasing shadows one game? Have we had a good game like we did yesterday against PSC Zwolle? Had we just been chasing shadows again against NEC? Yeah, so that's what I want to take away. In terms of the players, there's not much I can say about the players. I already see what I see from the players. Chislett, I'll say one thing about Chislett. Chislett just needs smarter players and players who support his runs, because Chislett is always on the move. And the thing is that whenever Chislett gets the ball, he finds people who are not on the move. So he finds people who want Chislett to slow down the play. But Chislett wants, if he feels like he's in an advantageous position, he wants you to take advantage of it, and that's his style of play. And I think that's an England style of play. England doesn't have time to slow down their game. When you are in the and like an area that you have the advantage, they try to utilize it, because England plays a numbers game. And when I say England plays a numbers game, I'm like, the teams will ensure that when they have a chance to attack, they attack. Because the more times you are positive in attacking is the more times you can actually hit the back of the net. If you choose to always slow down the play when you don't have a plan for when the play gets slowed down, then that's a problem. And that's what Chiefs keeps doing. Chiefs keeps getting into a place of advantage, then they slow down the play, and then they end up by the keeper kicks long, etc. So, I don't know if Chiefs management will consider this a success of a preseason time, but I don't really see much of a success. Like the questions that were asked in preseason of our players and our team are the questions we already knew from the whole of last season. We don't have keepers, we don't have a striker, we don't have enough midfielders to support Thabo Cele. The high line keeps hitting us. The lack of concentration when the game is either starting or ending. The pressure that gets put on the youngsters because the senior players like Abumatlo can't support the players. Playing players out of position that makes their lives difficult. The same questions that we had last season, we have now. And I don't know how then in the next 4 weeks, because I think that's the thing we need to understand. We have about 4 weeks, I think, till the start of the season. I don't know how that is fixed. I don't know. Amakhosi for life.